Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the weekly Take on the Market. I will be your host. My name is Scott St. Clair. I am the manager of the Premium Product Group here at Investors Business Daily. All right, please take a moment to read the disclaimer. I'm not licensed. Nobody at IBD that I'm aware of is licensed. We don't tell you what to buy, what to sell, what to hold. Our circle of competence is research and education. But that being said, we are clients as well, do have skin in the game and very much enjoy most of the time being involved in the markets. It gets me just like it gets everyone else sometimes. All right. So we'll go through the indices. I don't have any slides. I didn't have anything that jumped out at me this week. Um, Industry groups, although I don't know what it is about the industry groups. I just don't feel like there's uh, been a signal there. I don't know if it's a me problem or a industry group problem. Um, Stocks to watch. We'll look at a lot of stocks and then some questions. I get a lot of emails on this video, which is cool. It keeps me going. It keeps me motivated to keep doing this. 9 out of 10 of them are positive. It's just fine. Um, and sometimes I have to reply with a kind of a standard compliance email because I can't answer some of those questions in an email or over the phone like I can in this video because of the compliance slide, which helps me to speak more freely on this and like IBD Live, etc. All right, so let's pull up the indices. Let me turn off my camera. And let's make sure I'm sharing the correct screen. I don't know if Zoom did an update, but the interface has got me all out of whack here. I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm not as in sync as I normally would be. So I apologize. All right. Okay. So you should see the NASDAQ, and I've talked about it here. It kind of unfortunately starting to look like this could be a negative divergence. So you have this high there for the NASDAQ. And if I go to the S&P, it not only made that high over there, but it jumped through this high right here. I didn't draw that very well, but you get that idea. So it just poked its head into new highs. And so you have a negative divergence. S&P new highs, Dow. Um, I know it's not as relevant as it might have been. Just missed, didn't make a new high. The Russell, I just don't understand this index, but it's not even close, right? And a very poor day down at the 200 day today. So today was a very telling day, and you could see it kind of building in the leaders. Were just getting a little bit frothy. The Palantirs, the hims and hers, the apps, and we'll pull those up. And it just kind of reached ahead today. Now, just one day. Normally, I would say that what normally has been happening. You get these days like there, and then you get a little comeback, and then it's bad, and then it comes back. Um, this one kind of rolled over a little bit more, so you had a kind of a bad break, but then it came back. How about this one? So this looks pretty bad, and I would expect more weakness on Monday, but and I'm positioned accordingly. But I'm not. I don't know for sure because the MO for the market has been to create these kind of like if I backdate this chart to 418. Did I do that right? See, look how bad that looks, right? It looks very similar. Like there's the bad break, and you get a lot of a lot of follow through there, and then that's it. It comes back. So maybe it looks like this, and we get a little follow through, and it comes back. One time it won't come back, and so when it does this, and then finally undercuts, then maybe you've got the potential for a much bigger correction. But you can see how it looks bad, and then they rescue it, and then you're back, off to the races. So for me, the way I trade, I'm very, very lightly invested on the long side. I'm actually net short the market because I only have a single long, and I have a couple of shorts. So we'll talk about that in the stock. So I don't know. It's just one day, but today was not a good day in the market. And bad Fridays, my experience, you get some kind of follow through on Monday. We'll have to wait and see. TLT, the bond market, looks like it's sort of bottoming a little bit. So that would mean if there's a kind of a flight to safety, are they worried about something? I haven't looked at like junk spread in a while, so that doesn't look like there's any kind of problem in the system, so to speak. Like if high yield, these are ETFs, they're not the greatest thing, but they're very liquid. They trade. They're above the 50-day, so it's not like there's some kind of problem in the system. These would normally kind of signal that. I guess we'll do Bitcoin. So it's below the 50-day. It doesn't look terrible, but it looks to me like if you owned it, this would be a sell. I wouldn't be short it. I don't want to be short Bitcoin. I'd rather short MicroStrategy if I want to be short, which I am not. But this kind of, it's holding up okay. It's not, doesn't look great. Look much better here, right? It poked its head below the 50-day and then rallied and closed above it. That was really good action. And then you got a bit of a rally from 56 to 61, but so far not really doing much. What other indices are there? I think that's it. I mean, I don't have a great indice for China, but Chinese stocks are on fire, just pretty much straight up in the last handful of days. It's funny to me the way they've kind of traded, because you can tell that nobody has any exposure there. And it's almost like a light switch goes off and they all decide, I think we need some exposure there. And so they're so under-owned that it was gasoline on a fire. They just, Baba is up like 50%. I mean, it's a massive, massive market cap company, and it's up like 50% in a handful of weeks. So you can feel that kind of underinvestedness. And that's kind of what's happening in the other ones is they're over-owned. So they feel a little waterlogged because they've been being accumulated for years and years and years, the FANG stocks or whatever you want to call them. All right, so let's go to the industry groups. Let's sort this. Computer software, education, media is 1. Energy, alternative, other is 2. Airlines, very interesting. Let me write down a couple of tickers. So UAL and DAL. I read that Stanley Druckenmiller, Duquesne Capital, actually accumulated a position in those two names. I find that very interesting. They look like they've already made their move to me. Historically, they don't go a long way. So that's kind of it has me wondering, like what's the play there? What is he thinking about those stocks and why they can go on longer for possibly. Internet network solutions, medical, computer software. Look at this move, 135 to 6 to 5. I've been honestly a little lazy on this, so I can't explain what stock is doing that. So what I would do is go computer software, medical. Let's open it up. TrueBridge. I don't know any of these. Way, I feel like I've seen Way. Docs. So let's go ahead and go stocks and group and show all component data. And what I would do is just click the very first one. Okay, gapped up, I missed it. This one, I don't really, and it's hard to see anything there. $5 stock. Waystar, new issue, acted well, but looks, medium term toppy. we've broke bad today. End of story. So I'm done. That's how long it would take for me to just decide that, I've missed that group. Oil, gas, royalty, internet content, telecom, satellite cable. So maybe I need to stop being so lazy about this group, because that's what happens, right? You stop doing one thing and then the market starts in that area because you're not paying attention. So 103, 66, 11, 11 retail internet. So that's how I would handle that. All right, so let's go to the stocks. Let's start with the mag. So Microsoft looks very toppy to me. I'm not short it because it's Microsoft. I think if you want to be short, I'm looking for more high beta, more action that they can go down a little bit faster if I'm right. But that doesn't look all that great. Apple, unexplainable to me. So it's such a pedestrian company as far as the growth rate and the earnings and sales, but the stock doesn't go down. So I have to honor that. Tesla, and I was short and covered this day, and then I really was hoping it would get a little bit more up here. So I'm not short Tesla. I wouldn't be long it. It doesn't look like it's acting all that well, but some people are trying to hold this forever, and Tesla is one of the great stock market stories. I fast forward, if you could say, Scott, fast forward 5 years, you can have one chart. You pick a stock and you get one chart, and it would be Tesla for sure. I'm just so curious how this story is going to play out. Are they going to make humanoid robots and the stock's going to 1,000? Or if it's a car company, the stock's going to 30. That's what I think. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I see really smart and people I respect that tell a very eloquent story about these robots. I'm naturally skeptical about it, but I know that I'm naturally skeptical about it. So I have to keep that in mind. So do with it what you will as far as Tesla. What else? Netflix. I never talk about Netflix. What a great story. It's not a stock I've been trading much in a long time. What else would follow into that basket? What am I missing? Well, we got to go NVIDIA, right? So I looked today and I opened this up, and the technical tab, the 3-month RS and the 6-month RS are improving. So the stock's improving a little bit, this action. I think earnings are probably Wednesday. So that's going to be a great tell. NVIDIA's earnings, obviously. And I'm not telling you guys anything you don't already know. But Walmart came out with earnings, and this was just acting incredibly well. And, this is a bad break. Is it over? Possibly. It is Walmart, though. So, you get a bad break. Not as bad break there, but a little break off the top. Bad break there, and it just meandered for a little bit and then rallied. So I don't really do much with Walmart either. NVIDIA. So the index, Feng Yu, and I don't follow. I know last week I said I thought Mark Minervini said he was buying this. I would bet a lot of money that he's no longer in this. Yeah, he got stopped out, I'm sure, or just got out with scratch the trade or whatever. So this looks like a failed breakout. I know this isn't really some cup with handle. If I turn this on, it sees it as this consolidation, but I sort of see it as a cup with handle, and I think that was Friday, and it looked very bullish. So it's a bad break. I am short Feng Yu. This is one of the two stocks or ETFs that I am short. So we'll see. All right, so let's get into some of the stocks. So coin, I did hear this morning the stock was up. The SEC pulled, what's the right verbiage for it? Closed the case or canceled the case or whatever. I thought that'd be bullish, right? Guess what? It wasn't. So not good action for the longs on coin when you get good news and the stock goes down. MicroStrategy, I don't know, looks toppy to me. I'm not shorted, but definitely looks toppy. How about NBIS? So not a great day today, down 13%. Very weird. So I've traded this stock a few times. I traded it here and I traded it here, and it's pretty wild. But when you get it right, it goes up a lot, and then you sell it like I do, and then it goes up even more. But it's just a little too wild to have any kind of positioning. So, um, at least for me, for now, I think I'm going to move on from this. And ideally, if it's real, it's going to build some kind of base. That would be the so Palantir, bad break. A lot of kind of weird news came in. The Department of Defense, I guess, is going to slash the budget a little bit, and then you got a lot of insider sells. I did see a thing on Palantir. Palantir is a really great bull bear stock. It's a real barometer for the market, like right there with Nvidia as far as a barometer, because there's a lot of people will tell you how overvalued it is, and I think there was more insider sales last year than revenue that the company did. Yeah, I just see these things on Twitter that are so kind of funny to see. So it's a real bull bear struggle. So I watch this stock pretty closely, and at best, this looks like a hold at best. I don't want to be shorted. No, I think because it's just the best name. Why bother? There's other names to go to. When you short, you want to. Bill Fleckenstein, who used to run a short fund, would say, "I want to shoot him in the back." You know, an analogy to the old Wild West. Um, and or I used to say, I want, if you're hunting in Serengeti and you're a cheetah, you're looking for the three-legged zebra, right? You want to just take down the easy prey. You need something that's broken, or so this is the first break, but there's better areas if you're interested in something like that. Carvana. So this has been a great stock, great story stock, bad break. UPST, another bad break. Again, it's just a day, but today was not a good day. And so if the market starts stacking not a good days on top of each other, you need to heed that warning. Affirm. See, so this isn't good action, in my humble opinion, on those names. So how about app? Not good action. It's given back the gap. It's gone a long way. Like this has been a huge move. Look at the monthly from 10 to 400. So, can it go from 400 to 500? Sure. But sometimes you got to look at a monthly chart and say, what what do they say, the heart out of the melon, or there's how much juice is left to squeeze. So, but keep in mind that I would have said that from 10 to 80. So I'm wary of the old, oh, it's too high. You don't want to get into that thing. There's no such thing as too high. But it's gone a long way, and it gaps up on earnings here, and then it gaps up on earnings here. It creates a liquidity event for some of the institutions. If you're an institution, you've been accumulating this stock, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, you got millions of shares from 90. Let's say your average is $80, and now it's 500, and you have a liquidity event. They take advantage of that if they want. They didn't take advantage of it here. They didn't use that to sell. But to me, this is a liquidity event, and the next day is the liquidity. You've got liquidity if you want out, and then you have bad break. HIMS. So very extended, very climactic. I don't know if it qualifies as a climax top from the kind of the traditional, but gosh, that sure looks climactic. So there are a number of leading stocks that look fairly climactic to me. And so that's kind of where I'm at. Let's go to the airlines, UAL. See, I would, when I saw it was normally when I almost always run to buy something that Druckenmiller bought when he has a new buy. So I remember I was buying Coherent somewhere in here because I saw that he was buying it, and what was the other one like the Argentinian bank breaking out here. Um, but I don't get the airline buys. Not for me. So I think it's going to pass. UAL, Delta. All right. So today I saw like a lot of people want to know what's the news. I had a friend text me today like, "What's the news on the market?" And because most people feel like there has to be a reason why the market went down, and that's in fairness to him, he's not a professional, and that's kind of what the average person thinks. And I just think you can look for something, but sometimes it's just the market is what it is, just doing what it's doing. I did see on Twitter X or whatever some rumor that Microsoft was trying to cancel some power contracts and they were paying penalties to do so. And if there's, whether it's a rumor or whether it's true, maybe the market reacted to that news. It's hard to know, but like CEG was holding really well, but bad break. First bad break in a while. You've got this bad break that it overcame, and then this bad break that it overcame. But maybe this is going to be too much for it to handle if there's anything to that rumor. So VST, bad break. These, I don't want to say they're broken, but they look like they're under distribution, honestly. How about VRT? I haven't looked at that one in a while. Even worse than CEG and VST. So maybe that's what was going on. TLN was a name that I had been in previously. Bad break, second bad break. And what else would be kind of fall into that category of power? How about Oklo? What a move! I'm down here buying it. Just couldn't handle this. It's just a little bit too whippy for me. But this broken. I mean, what is it? 40% off the high already, I bet. 35% off the high. The math is cruel. It's gone a long way, but to give back 35% in 4 or 5 days is no fun. Did I do hymns? I think I did. Yeah. So let me scratch it on my list. So what else? I think that should do. Oh, I know. I got to talk about the Chinese stock. So Baba is incredible, just incredible. Comes out of this cup with handle and one red day before the earnings. Very, very extended. I have the tiniest of position. I did fairly to moderately to fantastically well in Baba. If it had been a U.S. stock, it would have been a grand slam for me. I held it fairly well. I had a pretty good position. I wanted to have a bigger position, but I just couldn't wrap my head around, the Chinese thing. So, if you're in this one, congrats. I don't know, what to do here. It's super extended, but it doesn't have to, pull back. But it's on my watch list, high on my watch list, and Futu as well. These are my two go-to names. If this Chinese move in equities is real, if it's a longer term bull market, these are my favorite two names for now. And I think I did disclose that I had a little bit of Baba. I don't own Futu any longer. I sold that. I think not yesterday, I believe. All right. So we did stocks to watch. So before I get to the quote, I don't know if I have time. Well, but I'm going to do it. You can always fast forward if you want to get to the quote. I get a lot of questions, and they're very valid questions. I just am kind of stuck. So somebody asked, when you purchase stock, do you automatically enter a 7% sell stop or stop loss order at that same time? Um, Sometimes. So the answer is not always, and the reason is I'm sitting here and I can see the market and I can hear the ding from Thinkorswim if an alert goes off, or I get the market surge alert. But sometimes I get really busy and I'm managing a lot of accounts, some family accounts. So I am more prone to put a stop on a family account because I don't want to forget about that. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, my son's Coverdale, he still owns XYZ. And so I sometimes will forget about that. So I will put stops on those accounts. I did a modest trade in those today, and I just put a stop because I don't want to forget about it. But for my own main accounts, my margin and my Roth IRA, my wife's Roth IRA, I don't usually put a stop. What I like to do sometimes, especially if I add to a position, is I'll put some type of stop on part of the position because I want to be alerted if the stock is starting to get away from me. So I'll hear ding, 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 because I have six of my retirement accounts all have the same position and they're all getting stopped on a quarter of the stock. So I will do that a lot. So have 2000 XYZ, I might put a stop on 500. And just as kind of an alert that it's getting away from me, the price is, maybe I need to get out. Sometimes I might just go in there and sell the whole thing. Sometimes I might put another new stop on it. So I don't have a problem with the stop. I think it's fine if you want to have those. If you're, I think it's better to have a stop than not have a stop because that way you can freeze. I've frozen in the wrong time before. Everybody, 35 years of doing this or whatever the number is, and I can freeze. Like I think I told the story about LB, that on that deep seek break. I didn't. I thought this is oil and gas. It's not, shouldn't fall that far, and it opened down 3, and I just was frozen, and then it was down 8, and so it'd have been much better off with at least some type of stop. Do you use a trailing stop loss? Very, very rarely will I use a trailing stop loss. In other words, to me, what a trailing stop loss is, a lot of brokers have this. I was putting a stop in for one of my ETFs that I was short, the FANG down. So in my IRAs, to be short, you have to buy the reverse ETFs, which is not my favorite thing to do, but it's I can't short. So it's either I don't participate, or if I want to participate, I got to buy those. So I bought FNGD, and then I went in there to put a stop on, and it gives you all these options. So you can do a trailing stop of 5%. So if the stock goes from 100 to 105 back to 100, well, if it stocks at 100, you put a trailing stop 5%, your stop is 95. It goes to 105, your stop has moved up. It's trailed it. It's gone to 100. It moves back down to 100, you get stopped. It runs to 120, straight up like Baba. It's going to keep following it up. And maybe your stop is what's 5% of 120 and 116 or whatever, something like that. So I very, very rarely will do those. But I like the idea of a staggered stop. So in other words, I buy Baba at 90, it runs to 100. I might put a stop on 200 shares at 95. It runs to 110. I might say, gosh, I think if it breaks to 108, I might want to take a little bit of profits. So I might put a stop on 200 shares at 108. So I will follow the stock. Once I get into a certain percentage gain, it's hard to say. I mean, I know 3%, I'm sorry, 20% is kind of the standard. But for me, I will have a hard time letting like a 10, 12, 14% gain get away from me. So I will get out of some, whether it's just straight sell or whether it's with a stop. So the long and short of it is if you, the way I see it, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, you work on an oil rig off the coast of Louisiana, you're a PE teacher, I could go on and on. There's a lot of people that have field jobs and jobs where they just can't watch that. I think a stop is fine. And if you're worried about, like, if you've built a significant net worth and you've got X amount of dollars in Baba and you're worried about, gosh, I don't want to put a stop on 2,000 shares on Baba. I've been there when I've had pretty good size. Nothing wrong with 5 stops, 3 stops, 500, 500, 1,000. So 500 shares get me out at 105, 500 shares get me out at 102, 1,000 shares get me out at 100. No problem with that. I think that's fine to do it that way. So hopefully that answers those questions about stops. All right, the quote of the week. I think I've used this, and I apologize that what I do is I keep like a bevy of quote of the week slides below the deck, and I didn't come across anything that's like, oh, that a lot of times I'm reading stuff on Substacks or Twitter or a book, and that's a great quote for the quote of the week. But that didn't happen this week. So I think I've used this one, but I think this one is perfect for this market as we sit here today. Michael Platt, his Blue Crest Capital, I believe, is his fund. It's a family office now. I think they used to run other people's money. Now it's only family office, is my understanding, which means it's all his money basically. And if you read Hedge Fund Market Wizards, read his story. I really like the way he handles risk at the start of the year. I'm not going to repeat it here, but read the story. I think what he does, as far as like, it's January 1, it's brand new. This is how we're going to risk it, because that's what I do. I start the year very slow, and if I can get some headway, then it gives me ammunition to be more aggressive as the year goes on. So I always like to start at 0, and I just want to try to put on a few points, get up 1%, get up 2%, get up 3%, get up 10%. All right, now I can really press if I want, because if I give back all 10%, I'm back to square one. So I don't have any tolerance for trading losses. Losing money is what kills you. It's the fact it messes up your psychology. It does. When I could have 7 stocks going my way, and I'll stare at the one that's hurting me all day long. Well, just get out of it. Just get out of it if it's not working. In this game, you want to be there when the great trade comes along. If so, you got to put in the work. You got to stay motivated. You got to know that I had no idea that this move in Chinese stocks was around the corner, but I just like, you got to show up. I mean, it's like half of a life, half of success, I think, is just showing up. Just every day or on the weekends, you're putting in the work, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, I think this is a fantastic risk reward. Baba here, Futu, JD. I thought the same for JD. I was wrong on that one. It didn't really work. And it just made an incredible move. And now I've got this cushion that I need to push for the rest of the year. So I've got this huge runway. It's only February 21st. Got a pretty good cushion. I can be aggressive when the timing's right. So I can be aggressive short here, more aggressive than I would have been on January 1. If I'm wrong on Monday, I can get out and just risk a little, but I can get aggressive here if I want, because I have that cushion. All right. 800-831-2525, Marcus Surge at investors.com. What is today? This might be my last. Is the stay in step next Friday? I believe it is. Today's 21st. I'm sorry, next Thursday. Yeah. So stay in step with, I think Jerry is Harold is on vacation, I believe. So Jerry and Arnie will be your hosts on Thursday, which is good. It's cool. You'll get a new feel. Jerry loves markets. He's been a product coach for a long time. So think it's him and Jerry and Arnie. I'm fairly certain. So enjoy that, and I will enjoy my next Friday off. Have a great week. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.